What's up guys? Another day in the world of Apple means more iPhone leaks. We're just about 2 months out now from the new iPhone lineup being released. I'm very excited and we're starting to hear more and more things about them, including a whole range of new colors that we did not expect, and that gets me very excited. So before I get into that report, I wanted to mention a couple of things I'll be doing next weekend, and I'm actually planning to do an iPhone 10 giveaway. It actually has been a very long time, so I'll be giving away a new iPhone 10 and a separate set of AirPods to 2 lucky winners. It's really been a while, and I just wanted to say thank you. I've been doing this for a very long time already. You guys have been helping me out, so I want to give back a little bit. Also, for next weekend, I've got something pretty big planned, including a house tour. I kind of want to incorporate it all into one video, so stay tuned for that one. But otherwise, pretty big update. Let's get into it. So Ming-Chi Kuo looks to be getting pretty comfortable at his new company, and he's actually just released his third new report on Apple, including the new 2018 iPhone lineup. So once again, he reiterates what we already know, what the lineup is going to be. The iPhone 10 Plus will be exactly $1,000. It'll be a 6.5-inch huge version of the regular iPhone 10, and it will have a dual SIM functionality, and depending on which region you're at, you'll have, of course, different types of dual SIM, eSIM, or an actual physical dual SIM slot, or supposedly what we've heard. He says the 6.1-inch, the cheaper end LCD model, will start at $700. And a different research firm, Fubon Securities, is actually saying it'll start at $799, and it'll cost roughly $275 to make. So Apple will have quite a wide profit margin on this phone. It'll be pretty profitable for them, and especially with the sales targets saying this is going to be the main seller, it's going to be a very profitable year for Apple. So the main piece of this report is where he gets into the colors. There will be new colors for this year's iPhones, and coming from Ming-Chi Kuo, that's a very reliable source, so you can really take that seriously. So it seems like for the longest time, we've actually had some pretty flat colors on the iPhone. Yeah, we've had gold and silver, whitish look, but nothing really spectacular. This year, Apple's actually going overboard on the colors, as it seems most manufacturers are having a lot of liberty with the colors lately, and I'll get into that in a second here. So he says that this year's iPhone 10 and 10 Plus versions, this being the 5.8 and 6.5 versions, will come in a black, a white, and a gold color. So by black, he might mean space gray, or it might be that this may be the first jet black version of the iPhone 10, which would also be neat. He didn't really elaborate on that. The white will most likely be the silver that we already have with silver borders, although if it were ceramic white on the borders, that would be really cool as well. That'd be a perfect match for my ceramic Apple Watch. And the gold we've already seen. So in the FCC filings, Apple's actually been working on this for quite some time. They didn't release it originally just because they weren't able to get the manufacturing process right, but looks like this time around they will be releasing it, and we'll finally get that gold color that looks just like the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, but on the iPhone 10. So that's pretty nice, but that's not what this is about. The 6.1-inch is where all of the change will be happening, and supposedly, I'll call it the iPhone 9 because it will be replacing the iPhone 8. So Ming-Chi Kuo says that it will apparently debut in a gray, white, blue, red, and orange colors. So that's 5 potential new colors for this iPhone. And it seems like this release is taking heavy inspiration from the iPhone 5C, a cheaper end model with a plethora of colors. Even though it didn't do very well in sales, it was still, moderately successful, and it was cheap for Apple to make. So same deal for this guy. It would come in a range of colors, so you can easily distinguish it from the more expensive and more premium iPhone 10 and 10 Plus models in 2018. Now personally, I do like the idea of an orange iPhone, and it's not clear if the red would be a product red or just a different variation of the red from Apple, because the iPhone 5C was not a product red version, it was just a red version of that. And the gray may or may not be space gray. We made it in an off gray regardless, just to show you what that would look like. So pretty cool, just the possibility of having many colors on your iPhone once again. The color is back, seems to be a trend nowadays, so Apple's giving you more choices of color with this upcoming iPhone. Now Steve H is saying there's a possibility that Apple might even be releasing and testing more colors. He says that all of these are still on the table as it's still in the prototype stage, even though it will be entering mass production quite soon. The colors that he adds to this is a pink color and a yellow color, and a blue also. So those 3 colors Apple could additionally be testing with the other ones as well. So we may see a red, blue, yellow, orange, pink, gray, and still that black, and then a white color. So a wide range of colors going on here. I really don't know about the pink. Would Apple make it like a hot pink or a rose goldish look? Quite interesting. I'm liking the fact that Apple is finally exploring exploring new venues, new colors. That'll be really nice to see. But I think the best thing they can do is a gradient. Much like the Huawei P20 Pro, that one looked so amazing. And if Apple could add some sort of glass gradient to the back, it would look pretty neat. Although I don't see Apple doing that. They're more about simplicity and flat colors. We rendered these up for you just so you can see what these would look like potentially on the 6.1 inch. And yeah, I do like the outcome. I just think that the colors would be a little bit more rich with Apple. Oh, and I've been getting a lot of questions from people recently that are saying, should I buy an iPhone 10 now or wait? Or what should I do? Will the 6.1 inch be worth it? So I just want to quickly recap what the 6.1 inch is going to be about. And for most people that want to upgrade to an iPhone 10, it'll tick most of those boxes. You don't need to spend a ton of money. $700 will get you almost everything that the iPhone 10 does. So in a nutshell, the 6.1 inch iPhone will be an LCD model. It'll still have the full cutout up top. It'll be shaped and modeled directly after the iPhone 10. It just won't have the dual lens camera on the back. It'll be a single lens camera, slightly different design with the flash on the bottom. It'll still be a very premium phone. It'll just be a notch below, of course, the iPhone 10 and 10 Plus. It's likely to be called the iPhone 9, but I'm personally thinking they're going to call it something like iPhone or the new iPhone or iPhone 2018, just something to set it apart from the more premium sounding iPhone 10 and 10 Plus. It'll also have a cheaper aluminum frame, so it won't be stainless steel like the iPhone 10, and it won't have 3D touch. It's a possibility that it won't have 3D touch, and new software evidence in iOS 12 is basically some sort of evidence that that won't be happening. And the glass back with wireless charging is not confirmed. That may or may not still be happening. And Ming-Chi Kuo actually is so confident that the 6.1 will be a killer in sales, he revised his estimate for how much sales it's going to be taking. Previously, he said it'd be a 50-50 split between this LCD model and the OLED models. Now he's saying it's going to have a 55% market share of Apple's new iPhones, and that's huge. Now he says that most people at first will want to be going for the, of course, more premium iPhone 10 and 10 Plus models, but after that dies down, most new people coming to this year's iPhone lineup will be choosing the LCD model. It's going to be cheaper. It'll look very similar to the more expensive models. It'll have the colors. So Apple will basically be capturing the people that want that mid-tier phone. Well, not really mid-tier. $700 is really up there, but also the people that are willing to spend $1,000 plus for a phone with the more expensive models. So it's going to be quite a crazy year for Apple. They will be selling these things like crazy. Oh, and this isn't specifically related to Apple, but this is so cool. Now, Ice Universe, a pretty prominent leaker on Twitter, has shared this image. This is from OnePlus 6's engineering labs, and someone took a picture of it. These are all of the potential colors they explored when making the OnePlus 6, and this really gives me a lot of ideas. There's so many creative ones in here. I absolutely adore the gradient ones. There's that dark navy look gradient. There's that bright orange one and the pink one. Those look so fantastic. I had them rendered up on this new potential iPhone 6.1 inch model just to see what that would look like. But wow, I mean, whoever was responsible for those and whoever was responsible for not bringing those to market should be fired. Those were seriously cool. And here you can see the new lava red color they just released. Of course, many variations of the new silk white one they released earlier. Really, really cool. So I wonder if in Apple's headquarters they have section where they explored all of the potential colors for iPhones just like this. That is seriously so cool. One of the coolest things I've seen in a very long time. Now, in the last video, we talked about the leaked Apple A12 Geekbench scores. And in this video, I want to say those are most likely wrong. Well, not wrong, they're just not representative of what they will be at launch. So last year, the iPhone 10, the Geekbench scores actually were predicted and supposedly leaked, but weren't actually true. And they were roughly around 4,300 and 8,000 multi-core score. Upon launch, that was a much greater number and it did much better. Of course, as we know, we get roughly about 10,000 to 10,500 for the multi-core score. So even if that was a leaked Geekbench of the upcoming iPhone in 2018, it's very likely that that score will be higher at launch. So the A12, don't discount it. It will be a proper monster. So the triple lens iPhone rumors just will not stop, and more are coming from different sources. Economic Daily News from Taiwan is actually saying Apple is working on them. They're working on increased and advanced AR capabilities for the rear. It will actually be stronger and project further than the ones in the front. It'll of course have optical zoom of 3 times, and yes, the triple lens camera is indeed happening. And in case 3 lenses isn't enough, here's a look at a smartphone with 9 lenses on the back. This is from the company Light, and it just goes to show you that the future of smartphone cameras seems to be just adding more cameras until you run out of room on the back. This is a 64 megapixel combined camera with all of these lenses. There are various various focal points, various apertures, and they combine to give you the perfect shot in any environment. I'll be honest, I am intrigued. It's not a very pretty concept, but they actually managed to make it look good for how many camera lenses there are. So can you imagine an iPhone with this on the back? I'm sure it would take very cool pictures, but it would take some getting used to the look of it. I mean, it seriously looks like this crazy robot, AI robot or something. Now, Apple has actually filed to register several new models of the MacBooks and iPads in Eurasia. And based on this, we know that there's a release pretty soon here, likely in September alongside the new iPhones. So these iPads are expected to be the ones with the less bezel display, the all-new design inspired by the iPhone X, and the MacBooks will likely be just an update to the existing ones with faster processors. And as for the MacBooks, supposedly a Geekbench has leaked showing a considerable speed boost in this year's MacBooks. So the MacBook Pro will be coming with a Coffee Lake processor, same node size, 28 nanometers, same amount of RAM, DDR3, as DDR4 is not supported yet, unfortunately. And versus the last year's model with the same 2.8 gigahertz processor, I'd say it's about an 8% increase in speed. And how that translates to usage, probably even see less difference than that. Maybe in the editing or heavier programs, you'll notice a difference. But yeah, for all the people wondering where are the new MacBooks, we'll likely be seeing them in September in most likely a silent refresh, since there really isn't much changing here at all. So there it is, guys. My advice to anyone that wants to buy a new iPhone right now, for some reason I've been getting a lot of these questions recently, is just don't. Wait 2 months. The price of the current iPhones is going to go down anyways. Right now is a really bad time to buy an iPhone. There's going to be new colors, which I'm very excited to see. A new gold one on the iPhone X and X Plus series, potentially a jet black even, and it's going to be much faster with the Apple A12. There's a lot to be excited for. So stay tuned for that, guys. I'll keep you updated on any news and leaks. They are ramping up as we get closer, and stay tuned for that giveaway next weekend.